Hello. Here we go. All right, so this is going to be a quick 4 tip for heading into 2023. Can you believe it? And then when I was figuring out what my 4 tips were, I went, well, hang on, these are kind of useful for not just heading into 2023, but for pretty much any time. Like now, we're less than a week from Christmas. So here we go. So, 4 tips for making 2023 the best year yet. Alright, so most people's biggest fear is generally wrapped around unconsciously massive fear about being seen as either mad, crazy, or bad. And upon knowing this, that this is, this deep innate fear that kind of prevents us from speaking out, being ourselves, saying the things that we deeply desire or want. It's like if we can start to get comfortable with being seen mad, crazy, or even as bad, that gives us this ridiculous amount of freedom available to us. So what I suggest, and this is what I do, is practice. Practice being seen as mad, crazy, or bad. Okay? In essence, me getting on and doing these lives is me practicing being okay, being seen as mad, crazy, or bad. Being okay with being judged by a, larger audience or the general public. And what's going on underneath that is that we've got these preconceived ideas or programmed thoughts around what's acceptable and what isn't, what identities, what part of my identities are okay for people to see, that's acceptable, that's not going to prevent me being rejected or denied love. Okay. However, once we start putting this into practice, what we start to realize is that all parts of ourselves, all aspects of our identities are worthy of love. And when we bring them out into the world, make them acceptable, then we love them. And again, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's reinforcing. Okay, the more we hide away, the more we prevent ourselves being seen as mad, bad, or crazy. We're just reinforcing that these parts of ourselves aren't lovable, that will be rejected if we bring those forward. Okay, so ultimately, what we're giving ourselves or gifting ourselves in 2023 by opening ourselves up to showing these aspects of ourselves is freedom. Who doesn't want that? Okay. All right, so that's number one. Number two, I harp on about feelings a lot. There's a reason for it. Tip for 2023, tip for getting through stressful Christmas, get good at processing feelings. And by that, I'm highlighting the unpleasant ones, the ones that don't feel good, the sad, the anger, the fear ones. If we can get comfortable at processing those, we again are opening ourselves up to more freedom. Okay. So a big flavor for 2023 is going to be increased disclosure. It's already happening. You may have noticed some of the things that are coming through mainstream media, and you're like, wow, okay, this is really happening. Curious though, a lot of people don't notice. That's also something that's quite fascinating, is witnessing the very real hypnotic and cognitive dissonance and the bias that exists that prevents people actually absorbing and noticing what's going on in reality. Okay, so don't want to go too much into that. However, with increased disclosure, we're going to be seeing things, we're going to be receiving information probably a lot of things that we perhaps don't want, that we don't want to acknowledge about how our world is or does potentially operate. Okay, so 2020 up until now, it's been kind of like the warm-up event. Okay, and then we're going to start seeing like the floodgates open and a lot going on. So when we get information that again is opening us up to questioning our identity and going, well, if I operate this way in the world, or if I have always believed this particular thing and I've built my identity on that staying the same, and now I'm receiving counteracting, conflicting information that's now showing that this thing that I always thought was this way, what that does is that it shakes up our foundation. It rattles the identity, the parts of ourselves that we have invested in things either staying the same or things being a particular way. Okay. So, for example, if we were presented with undeniable information that aliens exist and they walk among us, okay? So perhaps I'm someone that's perhaps got a strong identity built in with religion that says that, you know, humans are the only intelligent life in the universe, okay? So if all of a sudden I'm presented with information that shows contradictory, that we're not the only intelligent species in the universe, that perhaps is going to rattle my identity. I might have fear come up. I might get angry, angry that this information hasn't been made available earlier. I might be sad, sad realizing that, this aspect of myself has been fundamentally designed around a lie, something that isn't true. Okay, so get good at processing the uncomfortable, the unpleasant emotions. Okay, that way when we're presented with conflicting information, we know we'll be okay. A big part of our identity or the mind is that it's like when we won't survive those unpleasant emotions. We will die if we feel or allow ourselves to feel that thing. That's when we see people project or lash out externally to others, because they'd rather do that than actually feel the unpleasantness of what's going on outside. It's like, no, I'm going to send that outwards. Okay, so get good at processing unpleasant emotions. Do it for yourself, your own emotional hygiene, your own well-being, and in order, when you do that, what that is also doing is you're strengthening your resilience and your ability to support yourself and your loved ones, the people that you care about. Okay, we're going to see the need for that coming on more and more. Okay, there's a lot of collective stuff that's going to need tidying up, and it has to be felt. There's no other way through it. Okay, so get good at processing feelings. The next two are not my own. I'm drawing on the beautiful Byron Katie, whose work I've been indulging myself over the last couple of months, a couple of books of hers. If you're interested, go check out her website, The Work, and she's got great videos that she takes people through these beautiful, simplistic questions that enable us to work out where we're really attached to our thoughts and the stories that we've got about our thoughts. And the other thing that I love about her work is it really starts to dissolve untruths. And what we start to realize is there is very little truth. And we can start to see that we're really just making shit up. It's fabulous. All right, so the two tips. So first one is that Byron Katie identifies that we have 3 types of business in this world. No more, no less. My business, things that are going on for me, my thoughts, my emotions, my body, things that are directly happening for me, to me, is my business. Okay. The other two types of business: everyone else's business, your business, my family's business, my boss's business. Everyone else's business is not my business. Don't worry about it. Okay. More often than not, we're very consumed by other people's business, what we think they should be doing, observing their problems, watching how they do things. Do you like being told what to do? Most of us don't. Okay, so why focus on other people's business? They don't want us meddling in it anyway. Okay. And the third one, and I love this, she calls it God's business. So anything that is outside of our control. Okay, no point worrying about what the weather's going to be like on Christmas Day. That's God's business. He'll figure it out. No point worrying about when, if or when I'm going to die. Got no control over that. That's God's business. Okay, we'll let it alone. He's got that taken care of. Or she, whatever your personal beliefs are on that. Okay, so God's business, just anything that's outside our control, no point worrying about it. Okay, so bringing all my energy back, all my power back, and focusing purely on what is my business, not worrying about God's business or anyone else's business at that level. All right, that's the third one. Fourth one, again, I'm drawing from the beautiful wisdom that is Byron Katie. She's got so many beautiful expressions, and what I've attempted to do is paraphrase a couple that I thought, damn, she's right, and this is useful. All right, so when we are in pain and suffering, it is from being at war with reality. Reality tells us how things are and need to be. If we think anything differently, then we are suffering from not loving what is. All pain and suffering are feelings from thoughts that we believe are true. They are never true if they are not accepting and loving of the way reality is. Okay, so when we've got some unpleasant feelings, when we're judging others, when we're not feeling great, it's effectively we're at war with reality. We're actually got a thought that believes something should be different to what is actually happening and going on at the moment, whether that's for ourselves or for someone else. So yeah, that's my 4 tips to make 2023 the best yet. Make peace with reality. Mind your own business. Don't worry about anyone else's. Get good at the feelings, all of them. Be okay with being seen as mad, crazy, and bad. That gives us ultimate freedom. So they're my 4 tips. I bet all of those we could actually apply at any time, not just moving into next year. But there's sort of my top 4. There's plenty more where they came from, of course. Before I wrap up, I probably won't be doing any more lives between now and the new year. Might if I'm really feeling strongly. But I guess ultimately, I just want to say big thanks for being part of the Joy Flow community, for checking in, for listening. Without an audience, there really is no Joy Flows. So, without you, this ceases to exist. There is some more I'd like to say, but I'll save it up for the new year. But ultimately, this can for some be quite a challenging time. Yeah. When people are struggling, the hardest thing to do is to actually reach out. But that's the advice that we generally give to people. It's like, if you're struggling, reach out. I'm here for you. That is true. I am here for you. And I just want to acknowledge that this frame that we give as a rule of asking to people to reach out when they're struggling, it's not working. And I'm putting a bit of thought and energy into what might be an alternative, because it's not working. So we need an alternative to that. So my frame is there for the moment. If you're struggling, need support, please reach out. I know you're not going to. That's okay. In the new year, I'll come back with a frame, something else that we can try. So yeah, happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah. Even if you don't believe in it, just enjoy the public holidays at the very least. I hope it can be a time of joy and happiness to you, and I also acknowledge that that is not the reality for many, and honouring you in that. Alright, that's a bit somber to leave it at, but anyway, that's where we are at, and I don't want to go any further. So thank you for being here. It means a lot. I hope those tips are helpful. If you do start to apply them, let me know how you go, particularly the being okay, being seen as mad, bad and crazy. As I said, that's one of the things I put into practice here. So, you know, I'm still here. I'm okay. I haven't died. It's amazing. So enjoy. Thank you.